The morning light cut hard through the floor-to-ceiling windows of the Chicago unemployment office, and Margaret Hale sat in a plastic chair that was 2 sizes too small for the weight of everything she had lost. Her designer blazer now fraying at the left cuff, her phone dead in her purse. Her company dissolved by a federal audit she never saw coming. Her marriage gone 6 weeks before that. Her Lakeshore Drive penthouse, now just a memory she couldn't afford to revisit even in her dreams. And she stared at the number in her hand, ticket 47, while the ceiling fan above her clicked and stuttered like it too was on the verge of giving up, and the room smelled of burnt coffee and fluorescent light, and the particular silence of people who had stopped explaining themselves to anyone. She had been Margaret Hale, CEO of Hale Innovations, named in Forbes at 41, photographed at galas, quoted in boardrooms across 3 continents, and now she was ticket 47 in a room where nobody looked up. The janitor working the far corner of the lobby was a thin, quiet man named Earl, and Margaret had barely noticed him the first 3 times she had come here, but today she noticed his shoes worn through at the toe, and she felt something crack open in her chest, because she recognized that kind of quiet dignity, the kind that had no audience and asked for none. Earl pushed his mop in slow, even strokes, and hummed something low and gospel-shaped under his breath. And then the door swung open and 2 small girls, maybe 6 years old, identical down to their missing front teeth and their mismatched ribbons, came tumbling in from the sidewalk, clearly his daughters on a school holiday, and they ran straight to him and wrapped themselves around his legs like they were the luckiest children in the state of Illinois. And Earl laughed, really laughed, the kind of laugh that fills a room without trying. And he knelt down right there on the damp floor and held both of them at once and said, loud enough that Margaret heard every word, "You are the only promotion I ever needed." And the girls giggled, and one of them turned and looked directly at Margaret with the fearless honesty only children carry and said, "Why are you crying, lady?" And Margaret touched her own face and realized she was, silently, without drama, just tears running free like something long damned had finally let go. And she said, "I forgot something important." And the little girl tilted her head and said, "What did you forget?" And Margaret looked at Earl still kneeling on that wet floor, beaming, like a man who owned the sun. And she said, "I forgot that none of the things I lost were actually the things that matter." And the little girl nodded very seriously, as if this was the most reasonable thing she had heard all morning. And Margaret Hale, for the first time in 2 years, smiled not for a camera, not for a room, but for no reason at all except that she was still here, still breathing, still capable of being changed in an instant by the radical ordinary grace of a janitor and his twin daughters on a Tuesday morning in Chicago. If this story touched your heart, please show some love by liking this video, sharing it with someone who needs a reminder today, and subscribing to The Kindness Voice for more stories that remind us what truly matters. Your support means everything to this channel.